because I have a couple of questions for that. Go
Yes,
ahead.
sir. Okay, this is the Plody 2012 Street project. We've talked a lot about this over the past couple of months. This is partial payment number 4 of 5. This takes us up to November 30th, the bulk of the work remaining. Um, what we're proposing to do is hold retainage on this contract in the amount of $83,919.45. That would be held until the spring when we do a final walkthrough and make sure that any restoration that didn't take over the winter gets repaired. The landscaper's on schedule to be able to come back and out there and take care of any sod remaining. We know that there's at least a couple spots of sod amounting to around couple $1,000 worth of restoration we know needs to get done. And so we're recommending you hold this money. This money is actually suitable to almost replace all the sod on the project. It's a lot of money, $83,000. So it certainly, the retainage can incorporate that amount of sod. We'll go back out in the spring, make sure all the sod looks good, have them fix it, and at that point we'd bring forth a pay estimate number 5 of 5, the final pay estimate for the council to consider in the spring. Yeah, thank you, sir. And so on the subject of liquidated damages, basically the contractor finished this project on November 26th, which is much later than the November 3rd completion date that the city approved. By our calculation, that's basically the city has the ability to charge up to 21 days of liquidated damages. We're adjusting that not to count state holidays for Thanksgiving. It's not allowed in the contract. So therefore, it's 21 days times the $12.75 per day allowable to you within the contract documents allows the city to charge up to $26,775. That amount of money could be taken out of the retainage on pay estimate number 5. Our recommendation is basically to hold that retainage and give you the flexibility to charge those liquidated damages in the spring. So if you choose to do so, the money's available for you to do that at that time in the spring. At this point, we're just recommending payment number 4, holding that retainage so that we have some options in the springtime, make sure the work is done correctly in the spring and the job is buttoned up well.
Can I ask you a question on liquidated damage since you
Sure.
brought that to my attention? The liquidated damage for being so late is $26,775.
Yes, sir.
Now, let me ask you a question. Since this contract went beyond the time,
Yes.
I know your contract to oversee this project was ended at a certain time. Is the figure of your extra man hours out there figuring this liquidated damage or not?
The purpose of the liquidated damages is traditionally to pay for the extra staff time to do the inspections over the time. So what we would probably have to do is make sure that the hours we spent from November 26th to November 3rd amounted to an equivalent amount of time in order for the city to have proper justification to charge that full amount. We can check that out. But yes, that is the point of the liquidated damages, is to pay. If the job had stopped on November 3rd, there would have been savings to the city and our engineering time for inspection out there. Since we had to extend the time frame out there, our folks were out there longer. You guys incurred additional costs. That's what the liquidated damages are there for, is to reimburse you for those costs.
So this number that you just threw out here,
Yes, sir.
you just told me that you do not have the figure hours of how many extra hours in here, because I didn't see in here how many extra hours you guys put in.
I don't have it in our memo, but that's certainly recoverable, like, very
But I'm
quickly.
just saying, so it could be more than 26,000.
It could be, but this is how much you're allowed to charge per your contract documents. This would be the maximum you'd be allowed to charge.
But again, not counting your hours, why could this only be what I could charge? No, because I could charge more if you had more hours out there.
We can
So
take a look at that.
This is not the hard numbers yet.
No, I mean, we could take a look at that, but I think this amount will be more than sufficient to cover our charges for that time period.
Okay, Mr. Cove?
Eugene, he's saying that on the contract, they have $1,275,
A day.
$1,275 for every day that they have missed. And that's the most they will pay. And then out of the $26,000,
Well, I'd like to know what it is, dollar amount is. Okay, I got it.
All right, you got, all right.
Alderman West, Roy? What's it?
I got the mic, Joe.
All right. I don't use the mic, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Go ahead. Alderman Roy, what's the question?
You said $80,000.
Yes, 83,919.45 cents.
Okay. Really is 60,000 some cents, because you take the 26,000 out.
What's the 26?
Correct. You would have the ability to do that in the spring if you want to.
So you're
yes.
holding back 60,000. Something.
Yeah, in
I'm
addition to the
just-
26. Yeah, exactly.
I'm rounding things
Yeah,
off here.
exactly.
Okay. I'm still disappointed on how they did the they damaged some sidewalks, discolored some things and stuff like that. I don't think we're building back for those things. I don't know if we are. You could tell me if we are.
We have, like I said,
And for the sod work, we talked about the sod work. They never came back and fixed it around trees and stuff like that and stuff like that. I mean,
they have some more work to do out there, and we still haven't paid them out in full, in addition to the retainage that we're talking about. So there is some additional work that we need to negotiate out in the spring, that's for sure. But it's much less than the money that we'll be holding in retainage.
I don't like it, but I'll go along with it.
Okay, I'll do the legal perspective here, because Mr. Pat Bond will tell me I'm wrong and say that we're going to have to pay out because work's being done already. So,
Ask Art.
am I, Mr. Legal? So, I'll make that
Mr.
motion.
Bond's absence.
I will make that a motion that we pay it because we have to, but, so that will be my motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, the other one question I have with this, and the one thing I would like, is after this whole thing comes to head, I want a full report on what went wrong in that site, what went on in that whole street project, what they didn't do, or anything. Because
Yes,
we're gonna need it for our file.
My staff's working on that report right now,
Okay.
sir. Thank you.
We need it for the file. So, all right, any other items, future meetings?
Motion for adjournment.
Okay, the only thing I got on there is Clark mosquito contract. I will make a motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?